Welcome, everyone, to this episode of the Cyber Confidential podcast, brought to you live by the Managed Service Provider Association of America. I'm at home in the studio, but our guest is live on location. So this is going to be a fun one. Our guest this week is Raphael Hamoy from H2Webs. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Michael. How are you?
All right, you're in a cool spot. Tell us exactly where you are right now. That's not a virtual background.
No, it's not. It's real. Right? We are right here. We are one of my clients in Richfield, Connecticut. They are a practice here, which I support in Richfield. And yeah, it's a wonderful place here. They take care of children and as well as an adults. So yeah, we are here swapping computers today. Since we had off-stage conversation since the doomsday of Windows 10 is coming up. We are here to swap some of their computers to keep them up to standard and in compliance, basically. So yeah, we are live here.
Fantastic. This is a fun one because usually we do these events at conferences or people at their office, but you're there in the trenches. So
It's
let's
true.
let's dive into this story. In the prep we were talking about, we're 6 months away from the Windows 10, Windows 11 doomsday. Tell us the story and how that's impacting your dental clients.
Right. So well, Windows 10, it's been like what, 10 years or so, probably around 10 years now on the mark. Believable, right? So yeah, so since Windows 11, it's pretty much solid, I'd say so, and yeah, we are here, upgrade those computers for the clients. And the story of it, what do you want to know exactly on the
Well, for
on the
those,
upgrade?
I'm sure many of the MSPs listening are familiar, but for those that have been living under a rock for a couple of years, tell us the scoop and how it's impacting your dental clients.
Right. So well, it's if you are in the healthcare or dealing with pretty much any healthcare or HIPAA clients or patients, you are required to upgrade your computers to either installing Windows 10 or Windows 11 from 10 to 11 upgrade, software upgrade. Usually it's free, or get a new machine and then with a Windows compatible with Windows 11, basically. So the reason to do this upgrade for you guys that doesn't know or don't know or not aware of or might be living on a rock is that since it's required and mandatory by HIPAA, you are required to upgrade to Windows 11, basically. And the upgrade comes, I believe the last day is October 9th, if I'm not mistaken, or 10th or something along those lines. So yeah,
Because
get ready because
HIPAA has that clear article that requires that the machines receive continual security updates. And since Windows 10 is ending its service life, it will no longer receive security updates. I think there's going to be some grace period where you can pay for an extended service, but otherwise,
correct.
your choice is upgrade to Windows 11. And as you point out, the tricky part is many devices cannot upgrade to Windows 11 because there's some new requirement for like the chipset needs to be made in the last certain number of
BCM2,
years and it needs to trust the
BCM2, yeah.
platform. Yeah.
Correct. So with that 2.0, that's the base requirement for Windows 11 to actually work on the machine. You might be lucky to be able to install, if you want to try to push it, install Windows 11 on a Windows 10 machine. You might be lucky to get there, but depends on the how old your computer is. Why not upgrade it? And the staff members here, they're super happy. Some of the computers they were actually one of the first wave of Windows 11 when it came around. They're like, oh my God, finally we're getting new devices here. So
Mhm.
it's a win-win for everybody, basically.
Is that how they're seeing it? Because that's a very proactive way to look at it. It's the opportunity to get fresh equipment. But I'm sure many businesses are hearing their managed service provider say, "We got to buy you all new hardware," and groaning that it's just a cash grab. How do you see your clients reacting when you bring this up to them?
So as of right now, because as you know, like depending on the size of organization, a lot of clients they do like waves. Like every 2 years they do a batch, or depend on the department. So some of them they rotate every 3 years. Some of them they wait into the last wave. So for this client here, they did buy a bunch of computers like a year or so ago with Windows 10. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna push Windows 11 right now. just to test a couple things. And then I was able to save this client over 30 grand because of the machines were semi new. And then they're like, oh, okay, so can you upgrade? Do I in place upgrade? I said, yeah, I'm not gonna here to steal your money per se. And like, I want to help you, hand to hand here. So we upgrade those machines, very solid, no errors or anything. We did in place upgrade, even to Microsoft nowadays. Back in the days, you had to install the ISO. Now you can just push a Windows update and grab the latest version of
Yeah.
Windows 11. And it was a win-win. Didn't take much to do, maybe an hour or so. You do remotely if we have to be on site. So be it. But no problems at all. So, and the last machines, the ones that actually the hardware was not able to support Windows 11, that's the machines we were at this location here trying to. I mean, we are upgrading, so I'm on my last machine
Mhm.
right now.
What are you gonna do with all of the old computers?
That's a great question, though. So, and thank you for asking that because it's HIPAA. Guess what? The hard drive has to stay intact, either destroyed and you have to have a certificate, or I hand it to the client. And we usually do bring it to the client, say, Mr. Client, what would you like to do with those machines? You can dispose it. Hardware is still here. You can sell on eBay, whatever you choose. So it's up to the client to do. They usually end up recycling those machines.
Okay, but there's the important component is making sure they're wiped of the private healthcare information.
Oh, 100%. So there's you can like wipe the computer, or you can drill a hole in the hard drive. But since most of those hard drives, they're SDs, so just break in a couple parts if they really don't want it, or you can wipe 7 times the DoD type of uh, that way you can wipe the machine like seven
Okay.
or several times to make sure there's no data
That's a
there.
great point to bring up because, I'm talking with a bunch of MSPs about this and, like, finding fun ways of doing, like, recycle your old computers and do, like, a donation drive.
Right.
Uh, but, there that's an important thing to remember, like, whether you wanna sell them on eBay or you wanna donate them to community center or school or
Right.
something, there's still the duty of care by the business owner to make sure that whether it's corporate information or, in your case, patient information is duly
Yeah.
wiped from the device, or you pull the hard drive out and sell the rest of the machine.
Pretty much, and now nowadays hard drive are super cheap, no? So just go on eBay or Amazon, just buy like 2056 hard drive, install it, and then you either get a might be lucky to get a Windows 10 or 11 back installed, and then use it for personal use or donate to school or something of a cause, and yeah, that's what I've seen a lot of my clients doing. Some of them they just keep it, in storage, like, oh, it can use as a backup. Like, oh, not really. If you put Windows 10, you cannot go back to the network.
Right, right.
So yeah.
Cool. What about the other computers in a typical dental clinic? You get like the X-ray machine. That's a computer.
Right.
Definitely not doing Windows 11 upgrade on that. But so I've seen many of them that are still running Windows 7. How do you deal with that?
So that's the great challenge, right? Because of the dentist, they the machine, the like, let's say the panel machine, right? The one that takes like the X-ray of your entire
Right.
face or your mouth, right? So those machines, they're like sometimes between 80 to $100,000, even more. That's on the ball, like low park, right? So those machines, what I've seen is what we usually do, we remove from the network. It's complete little LAN of it there with Windows
Uh-huh.
7 there, and it's challenging because now you have a data there, so you have to manually get like a USB drive, put it in, copy the data, and then some clients are okay because they rather save the money, and some of them are like, oh yeah, we're not ready to upgrade those machines to Windows 11 because they'll cost so much, and I get it.
Yeah.
Some of those machines are super expensive. So the workaround is we kind of live outside, not touching the internet, not touching the network, living some little domain there, basically. Not even domain, like it's
Mhm.
little local network as a workaround.
Right.
And for the other machines, that were some of them that were on Windows 10, luckily enough, a lot of them they have good support. So might be newer, might be because of those machines they came on the past few years. As far as I've seen, some of my clients from Windows 10 to 11, no problem, in place upgrade. So save the client a
Even for the
lot of
pan
money right there.
machines, the X-ray machines that you bite the little mouthpiece on. Those
Yes.
the manufacturers are pushing Windows 11 updates?
Yes, believe it or not.
Great.
So yeah, yeah, this client right here, they have two locations, one here where I am in Richfield, the other one in Danbury, and believe it or not, in place upgrade, no problem with the machine. So they might
Wow.
be
Good.
upset that they
Lucky.
didn't get,
That's
but
lucky
it's
because
working.
in many industries, there
Right,
are these like third party pieces of equipment that the business owner views as hard assets, but
right,
have embedded computing systems. Windows 7, like that's the most common place you'll find Windows 7. So it's
yeah,
great. And it's probably because the HIPAA requirements forcing the manufacturers to push this through. Otherwise, I mean, it's not like anyone really has a responsibility for this except
correct.
you and the client to make sure.
The end of the day, the client, right? All you hear, Mr. Client,
That's right.
let's push it. We gotta do something about it, like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't, like, no, let's push it. So that's the little back and forth, and try to stay with warranty in case like, oh, it's broken now. Like, do you have warranty? Are you paying for the warranty? That's another subject that we can get into as well. Just
Mhm,
like server
mhm.
warranties, right? Let's get the warranty on those machines as well, which they pay for service. So, and it's not that cheap per se.
Yeah,
So yeah.
excellent. Okay, well,
Yeah, yeah.
let's get some of your genesis story. Tell us how you got into this business. When did you start H2Webs and why focus on dental?
Wow. So I'll go back a little bit more. So my background, back in 2000 or so, when I used to live in Brazil, we had a computer store. My dad had a computer store, and I was always in the back, like messing with the technicians, learning, really looking to how they did it. It's like, I want to learn. That fascinated me, the way that they wiped the computer. That was like back Windows 98, Windows 95, sometimes even 311, believe it or not. So that was way back when. So I really learned how to get into the computer, the ins and outs, and then. We had a computer store just to sell like hardware, a couple things like CD-ROMs, floppy disk, believe it or not, and it was fun, and we used to wipe and rebuild the computers as well. And then moving forward, I went to the university in Danbury, Connecticut, Western State University, which I got my bachelor's in at the time they didn't have cybersecurity, but they have management information systems with an option in cybersecurity. So I took that, and right after that, I worked with on a bigger company, local here in Norwalk. Some of you guys may know what it was at the time. Was a Datto, and they were sold to Kaseya a few years ago. But at the time I left, I worked there for a few months, and then I really liked to work with the other IT companies, which I felt really comfortable with talking to the clients, level with the client, their clients at the time. And I was like, oh, I can do this, And then every client, I used to be a field technician, and every client that I visit, like, Rafael, you should open your business. You should open your business. So I never forgot that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So work with a few other IT companies, I created H2Webs. So the H2Webs was my brother and I to do websites. So to have more H2Webs. So I kept the LLC for that. I was like, you know what? Since I have the LLC already in place, might as well just keep that. And that's it. So that's the name. That's the background of the name. And it was fun. So now left those companies, and I started getting my own clients, and got involved into the dentists, which they were previous old IT. I used to manage those, like, back in other IT companies, and they found out that I opened up my business. It's like, Rafael, we're gonna go with you. So here I am.
Fantastic.
It's been great, yeah.
When did you start the company?
So the company was in 2018, and then on solo 2020.
Oh, right during COVID, eh? How was that transition period?
It was actually a blessing, believe it or not. A lot of people, they were switching over because of all the IT companies, they're charging too much. It's like, the new guy, let's go with him. Plus, we know Rafael, he knows our system. Like, come on board. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
hmm
Excellent. Well, Raphael, great to hear your story. I love that you're on location here. That adds so much to the authenticity. That's no virtual background. He's
No,
right
it's
in the
not.
clinic right now. Fantastic. Well, thank you so
Great.
much for joining the show and
You're
being
welcome,
here with the
Michael.
Managed Service Provider Association of America. Love hearing your story. Keep making
Thank you.
people smile. If you want to find out more about Raphael, go to his website, h2webs.com. Thanks for joining the show, Raphael.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate the time and to be here. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.